Story time about Papa Legba. I've been working with Papa Legba for years, guys, and I have some interesting stories to tell about Papa Legba. So when I first started working with Legba back in the day, there are some strange but curious things that happened to me. A lot of people say Papa Legba's a trickster, but he's not a trickster in a negative sense. Get my bugles, all my hair and everything's matching. He only tricks you or plays games with you when it's to your best good, when it's something to benefit you. So he's not, harmful. He's not going to hurt you by playing a trick on you. All of that is false. However, when I first started working with Legba, I was thinking about getting engaged to this guy. Actually, I had really been engaged to him for years, but we were thinking about getting married. I had called it off earlier, but we were talking again and thinking about going ahead and getting married because I was engaged for like 3 or 4 years. Well, he bought me this ring, this really big ring. Huge diamond. I love the ring. Like, even though I wasn't going to marry him anymore, I used to always wear the ring. So when I first started working with Legba, I remember taking the ring off of the sink, taking it off and putting it on the sink to wash my hands. And so I went back into my room to do something, and I said, oh, where's my ring? Went back to pick up my ring from the sink, and the ring had completely disappeared. The ring completely disappeared. Nobody was at my house. Nobody had been at my house in between the time I took off my ring and the time I tried to put it back on. I had seen no one. No one had been around me at all. The ring vanished. I love that ring so much. I had people check the sink. I had the plumbers check the sink. I tore everything up in my room looking for it. I had moved all the furniture looking for that ring, and I could not find it. That was a sign telling me that that was not the right guy for me to be dealing with, dating. Papa Legba didn't like him, and that was it. And I pretty much understood that and got it at the time that happened. But it was frustrating. I spent months looking for that ring. Months. And could never find it. That was the first thing. So when he plays a trick on you, it's always for your best good. He was letting me know that wasn't a good guy for me to deal with. He didn't want me dealing with that guy. And he wanted me to stop wearing a ring and don't have anything else to do with him. And I actually understood it as that. I still kept looking for the ring, though. I'm not going to lie. Never found it. Moved to a different place, still never found it. So I started to learn that Papa Legba loves to communicate. Papa Legba speaks every language. And if you're really working with Legba and you have a close relationship with Legba, he will talk to you. He will have a whole conversation with you. He will talk to you for hours. And he will literally prophesy over your life. Let me tell you how I know. So I was practicing drawing Legba's veve. If those for you who are watching who don't know what a veve is, it is the symbol for each voodoo loa, and it represents the loa that you're working with. So Legba has its own symbol, the other loas have their own symbol, and so forth and so on. So I was practicing drawing Papa Legba's veve because I wanted to, of course, be really good at it. And I used to practice every day to make sure I did it correctly, and I used to practice the veve, and I'd write it out, and anyway. So I had this notebook that I would do nothing but practice his veve in. And it was normal, a whole clean notebook with just Legba's veve in it. So one day I drew the veve, and then I go about my day, and I'm chilling. And it was like 5 hours later, after I drew the veve, like 5 hours later in that day, I'm chilling at home, and all of a sudden, I hear a voice, and the voice says, you drew my veve wrong. And so I'm sitting at the table. When I heard that, it just came out like, you drew my veve wrong. And I said, what? I drew your veve wrong. So I'm sitting there just stunned. And I'm looking right and left, and I'm just looking around, and I'm like, what in the fuck? I drew your veve wrong. So I go and run and grab and get the notebook. The notebook where I draw all the veves in. I go grab that notebook. I go get the notebook. And basically, I look at the last veve that I drew. And lo and behold, there was a mistake. It was drawn incorrectly. And I said, oh my God. Lo and behold, I go look at the last page of the veve that I drew, and I made a slight mistake, meaning I drew it wrong. And I said, oh my God. Meaning, I actually, what it was is I left something out. I left something very important out of the veve. It's not that I made a mistake. I left a part of it out by accident. So I looked at it and I said, oh my God. I said, okay, now I know. I can't give too much of the working relationship with Legba, y'all, but I gotta... That blew my mind. Blew my mind. So once I learned that Legba likes to communicate and that he's very good with communication, and when he communicates with you, he will predict things that are to happen to you in your future. He'll give you advice, so forth and so on. Now, how I get into these communicative sessions with Papa Legba, I can't just go over that. I'm not going to do that. But once I learned that he liked to communicate, I started to communicate with him on a regular basis. Now, I do this with a lot of spirits that I work with. A lot of spirits I will sit and talk to sometimes and get messages. And anytime I'm in these type of sessions with the spirits that I work with, I always take notes. So I'm sitting down in a communicative session with Papa Legba, and it's been like 30 minutes, an hour, and we're going back and forth. I'm asking questions. We're speaking. So as we speak, I'm taking notes. And so at this time, I was taking notes in my phone. And I still do that. I write down my dreams. Y'all, I write down everything. So I'm taking notes of everything that Papa Legba's saying. I'm taking notes. And one of those things in the notes was that I will be married in 1 year. And it gave me the date in which I would be married. So I'm thinking to myself, no, this can't be true. I'm getting married. I ain't even got no boyfriend right now. How am I going to get married in a year? Or on the date that you tell me I'm going to get married. It was a specific date. I wrote down the date too. So I was like, nah, this can't be true. Because I know I ain't getting married. Because I ain't got nobody I'm going to marry. Lo and fucking behold. Lo and behold, y'all. I put this on God. I put this on everything I love. The next year, my ex had got in touch with me. We were talking again, dating again. And this dude asked me to marry him. He asked me to marry him. And the wedding date that we set was the exact day that was predicted to me by Legba. The exact day. Now, we did end up getting married. However, the marriage was about 2 days off from that date because we had changed it due to personal things. We changed it, pushed it back like a couple days. But do you know that I got married on the day that Legba said I would get married? That's my second husband. Now, we're no longer together. However, that was an accurate prediction. And so many things that have been predicted to me and taught to me by the spirits have all worked out, have all came true, all of them. So I'm just telling you guys to tell you this story about Legba and how he works. One thing about Legba is he loves to communicate. He can speak every language in the world. He loves to communicate. And if you really have a great working relationship with Legba, he'll reveal a lot of things to you. That's why I say it's important to have the gift of clairvoyance when working with spirits. It is so important to have that clairvoyant gift because if you don't have it, man, you'll be missing out on jewels. You'll be missing out on gems, y'all. Legba is so cool. There's so many other things that I've experienced with Legba, but I love Legba so much, and that's why I have such a close relationship with Legba. I respect and honor him so much because this is just one story time. I've had 1,000 story times with Legba. And I just wanted to come on here and tell y'all that. And yeah, listen to your spirits.